I want to ask you a question. How many times have you felt like I'm retired? Perhaps purpose is still calling and saying, this is your time and it's not too late. Perhaps purpose is saying, there's something more for you to do. I know your kids are grown. I know you've raised them. You might even be raising grandchildren. But guess what? There's still more in you. And maybe you've served faithfully. Maybe you've done all of the above. But yet, something keeps whispering, there's still more. Something keeps whispering, it's not too late. Something keeps whispering, just step out, go a little further. What is that whisper? Perhaps it's God reminding you that you still have time, although you've retired from a job, although you've now no longer raising kids, there's still more for you to do. And so today I want to talk to you about why God won't let you retire from purpose. I believe there's still purpose inside of you. And one of the greatest misconceptions is that many people have a belief that purpose is done and or has an expiration date. The world says you've worked long enough. The world says you've done your part. The world says it's time for somebody else to take the reign. It's someone else's turn. And so you can move on. But what does God say? What does God say? God often does some of the greatest work, some of his greatest work for people who are in this season, the season where they now can relax, the season where others assume that they're finished, the season where you now can settle yourself and hear from him. And so hear this today. Purpose is not connected to age. It doesn't matter how old you are. Purpose is connected to your assignment and to your obedience. And so oftentimes people feel like restlessness, frustration, lack of motivation. You're feeling disconnected. Perhaps you're also wondering why they still feel called to something more. You're like, why aren't you resting? Why can't I rest? Why do I feel this restlessness inside of me? And the problem isn't that something is wrong. The problem is often the purpose. That purpose is still calling you. That purpose is still calling you. And so here's the thing, and I want you to think about this. Moses was 80 when God called him. 80. Well, Caleb was 85 when he was asked for his mountain, right? How about Anna? Anna served. She served in the temple until her latter years. Abraham received his promise in a season where many considered it was too late and or it was impossible. Look at Sarah. Sarah, at her ripe old age, bore a son. God used Colonel Sanders to take his Social Security check to start KFC. God never looked at their age. God looked at their availability, and he's looking at your availability right now. And so the enemy would love for you to think and love for you to believe that your best years are behind you. He'd love for you to embrace the fact that God has forgotten you and that God may be saying your most important years are still ahead of you. Yeah, Satan's telling you it's too late. You should have done it years ago. The time is not right. Look at the competition. Don't worry about any of that. Imagine ignoring the very thing God is trying to birth out of you this season of your life. Why? Because he believes, I believe you believe that you're not too old. I believe that you believe it's not too late and you're not too tired, but you won't allow the fear that's gripping you. You won't allow yourself to overcome that fear. It's not too late. And that's why that whisper won't go away. It's because it keeps coming to you to say, this is the time. It's coming from God. He's tugging at your spirit to say, come on, I've got you. And so I have a couple of teaching points today. And point number one is that purpose doesn't retire. Jeremiah 29:11 lets us know God's plan does not expire. It does not expire because of our birthdays continue to accumulate. He says, I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord. I know the plans, and those plans still are effective. They're still in effect. Every morning you wake up, that plan is still in effect. And it's not too late. Purpose evolves. Assignments change. Seasons may shift, but purpose remains. I heard someone say, no man or woman gets to walk out on his or her own stories. That means there's still time. That means if nothing else, you can get started. You can start it, and then somebody else may have to come by and pick it up and finish it. But get started. What is God asking you to do now? What is he calling you? What is he tugging at your heart? Not 20 years from now, not 10 years from now, but now, right now, today. What is God calling you to do? Point number two, God often speaks through holy restlessness. Holy restlessness. Are you restless? 1 Kings 19:12, it talks about it. It says sometimes God's whisper sounds like what? It sounds like a reoccurring thought. It sounds like a burden that you can't shake. It might sound like a dream that keeps returning. Have you ever had a dream and you've dreamt that same dream more than once? Oftentimes, a group of people you feel drawn to might be the people you need to serve. An idea that keeps coming back. It keeps coming. It keeps recurring over and over. I keep getting this idea about doing this. And guess what? That might be that whisper God is calling you to. And so oftentimes many of us, and I say us, because we have to remember that we have to tune our ear and to hear the whisper. But what we do, we try to silence the whisper. We try to ignore it. Oh, that's nothing. But God keeps speaking. He keeps speaking. You keep hearing that whisper. And it oftentimes isn't loud, and it often causes you to say, It's like, did I really hear that? It causes you to lean in and ponder why. Why? Because purpose is too important to ignore. Point number three, your experience is part of your assignment. Romans 8:28, nothing God allowed you to experience is wasted. All things work together. All things work together for the good, for God's good. And he takes that good and works it through you, through me, to help a people. Nothing God allows you to experience was wasted. Your victories, your failures, your heartbreaks, your lessons, your testimonies, none of it was wasted. Your tears, none of it was wasted, because tools God uses to help someone else are valuable. We can often dismiss them, but they're valuable. And purpose often looks like starting what God taught you, or rather sharing what God taught you. It often feels like sharing what God taught you. What he taught me, what he brought through me, what he did to me may be a help to you. And it may be the very thing that you need to help you get over the hurdle you're going through right now. And so someone needs to hear what God planted inside of you. Whatever that is, somebody else needs to hear it. One generation shall praise your works to another. One generation shall praise your works to another. That's Psalms 145:4. And so legacy is not simply what you leave behind, right? Legacy is what you pass on to others. Someone needs your wisdom. Someone needs your testimony, your encouragement. Someone needs your prayers. Someone needs your example to say, wow, if he did it for her, he can do it for me. If he did it with him, he can do it with me. And so purpose is rarely about us. It's usually all about God and what he wants to do through us to help somebody else. And so point number 5, faith begins with one step. That's right, one step. James 2:17 lets us know purpose grows through movement. Because we know what? Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. No, not perfection. We don't have to be perfect. And most of the time, all of the time, we are not. Yes, we might like things a certain way, but it doesn't have to be perfect. My mentor says all the time, just get your paper airplane in the air. You can always come back and tweak it later. And so remember, purpose grows through movement, not through perfection, not through certainty, right? Not through having every answer. That's not how purpose grows. That's not how purpose grows. Purpose grows through movement. And again, we don't have to have all of it in order. It grows through conversations, right? It grows through conversations. Sometimes a conversation you have with someone else is, again, the very thing you need to hear. And it's not about having all of the answers. It's not about having every answer. It's about taking one step, that one thought, turning into an action, stepping from the shallow water into the deep, not just with your toe only, but one step. You got to get the toe in first, yes, but then taking one step, one conversation, one prayer, right? One act of obedience, one opportunity to serve. Purpose begins and it becomes clearer as you move. With each step, it gets a little clearer. It gets a little easier. Yes, there are going to be some hard times. Yes, you're going to feel uncomfortable. Yes, you're going to feel uncertain, but keep going. And here's something I want you to think about. Could it be that the restlessness that you're feeling right now is not dissatisfaction? It's not a distraction. Could it be that God is reminding you, I still have work for you to do? Could it be that the whisper that you've been hearing is actually an invitation? Could it be that you're being invited to step into a new chapter? You're being invited to step up to a new level, an invitation to step into a new season of purpose. A new season of purpose. No, you might not have anyone at home calling your mama, calling your grandma, and you might feel like my purpose is gone. I understand. When 4 of my daughters left within 6 months, I had to reevaluate who I was and come back into the reality that I still have life in me. There was no one that I had to get up and make sure that they got off to school, that I had to make sure that they'd done what they needed to do. And it became just my husband and I'd been a mom for so long until now I had to relearn just to be a wife. I I had to relearn there was purpose in me, and somebody needed to hear my story. And so, if you've been sensing that God still has more for your life, I want to invite you to take that next step. Download my free guide, Remove the Lid. It's a 72-hour activation guide, and it simply guides you. It's going to help you identify what may be hiding, what may be holding you back, what may be your fear, and it's going to help you begin moving with faith, purpose, and action. It's going to help you understand faith, purpose, and alignment. The link is below. Click the link and don't spend another minute wondering. Don't spend another year walking in circles. Don't allow next year to find you where you are right now. Do it today. Click the link. Why? Because God has more in store for you, and purpose is pulling at you. Purpose is calling you. The question is, will you respond to the whisper? Will you answer the call? Will you take the next step? And so in closing, I want you to remember, you may have retired from a profession. You may have retired from a position. You may have retired from a title, but you never retire from purpose. If this has resonated with you, I encourage you to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos, any more content that I share.